Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on this episode, we are going to be playing my monk, who happens to be level 18. Yeah, level 18. He actually got level 19 last night, and then he died over in High Pass, and it was actually a pretty rough fight. I was over there kind of duoing just a tad bit. I think I was only there for like 10 minutes. I was duoing with a warrior, and he was getting ready to log for the night, so I figured, I'll get a little bit of experience, and he was really tweaked out. So it was kind of a false sense of security. And when he left, I just got the idea. I was like, hey, you know what? I can actually take this camp, right? And I was like, I was doing really well, too, there for about 30 seconds until the name guys spawned, and I was fighting out in the open. So I was like, oh, you know what? I could do it. And then he blinded me. And then, 4 other guys spawned, and then by the time I got back and I could see what was going on, I had like 7 or 8 guys on me, and yeah, that was the end of it right there. That was my death, and I forgot how bad it sucked to play a melee class. I mean, not in the sense that melee classes are horrible classes, but in the sense of like your corpse runs are so long. This is why a lot of you don't really understand why I give away free reses without charging people. This is why. This long run back to your corpse is the reason. Because it's such a pain in the butt. 30, 40, 50 minutes, sometimes longer. And you don't just do it once. You don't just do it twice. You do it on a regular basis. So much so that after a while, you just become ingrained to it. Like, that's the way it is. You're going to be doing it quite a bit. And you get used to it. But that's a sucky thing to get used to, I think, in a way. I like it, though. I like the corpse runs. They do add flavor to the game, and I'm not saying they should take them out in any sense of the word. In fact, I'm going to back this up, because I really don't want to get that Legionnaire at the moment. I don't know what level he is at, but Legionnaires are bad, guys. They're bad. Just kind of ingrained into you as well at lower levels, that Legionnaires are going to wreck your face. Let me see, can I con that guy? He's only green, so he probably would have been fine, but it's been a very long time since I've been over here, and my mend is down. My mend is down, and this guy over here is casting on me. I probably should have taken him out first. Didn't realize he was a caster, but it's alright. The other guy's almost dead, and if I can kill him, the caster should go down really, really quickly. And the thing that sucks is these guys are green, which means they're not really offering that much experience. Now, most of the guys over here that I'm killing are blue, and you can see I am getting enough experience to try to level up. But more than that, I never really showed you killing the Dervish cutthroats over here. And that's kind of a shame, because this is a really, really good camp. In fact, back in the day, I would go from East Commons, which is over there in that direction, and you'd go from Orc Camp 1, and then when you got done with Orc Camp 1 and the creatures started becoming a little bit of green to you, you would go over to Orc Camp 2, and the creatures would be a little bit higher, like 1 or 2 levels higher than Orc Camp 1. And once you've done with that, you would come over here to this zone right here, which is West Commons. And West Commons have 3 camps in them. They have the first Dervish camp, they have an Orc camp, I think, somewhere in the middle, and then they have another Dervish camp, which is a little closer to the zone line. In fact, I'm not too far away from the zone line over there. You can see the Druid ring kind of right behind me. If you keep going in that direction, you will eventually get to the zone line. And once you've gotten to the end of the zone, right when you get to the last camp, you're pretty close to like 17, 18, 19, where you can go over to High Pass. So it kind of leads you through the zone in a, I don't know, kind of like a nice, easy way. Like you're getting familiar with not just the creatures you're fighting, but you're getting familiar with the area in front of you and behind you as you kind of ease your way very slowly, inching your way through the zone. Ooh, there's a werewolf right there. He will wreck your face. He only comes out at night, so you don't really have to worry about him during the day. But yeah, a lot of roamers over here apparently, so kind of watch out for that. Now, I don't have very many throwing stars left. I've been using a lot of them lately, and to be honest, I didn't come over with a lot because I didn't have a lot of money and I don't have a lot of weight allowance, so I kind of wanted to hold off on getting a whole bunch of those. Now, I did get a Sherlock pack while I was there last night. You can see that it's 25 weight reduction and giant size 8 capacity, so actually really, really nice. The best thing about that is the weight of the actual backpack is only 0.4 pounds, so just getting that definitely is a nice thing. And if you look at it again there, it doesn't say lore. In fact, it doesn't all it says is pending lore. So at some point down the road, I believe they did turn that into a lore item, but because you're playing it on a older server, that is not the case yet, and it may never be the case. So you can get as many of those as you want. Just make sure you realize that at some point they could make it lore, and you know they're going to usually give you an update on that one. Ah, great, I got two. So let's back this up. Hopefully that's not blue. No, it's green. So we should be fine. Oh, 3 greens. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's try my feigned death. Make sure to click off your auto attack. So one of them was feigned, or one of them was... no, actually, none of them were fooled. Absolutely none of them were fooled. So we're going to run this a little bit. But yeah, make sure you click off your... let's see. Did we do it? Yes, we did. Now go into sneak. You begin to sneak. I don't know if it's going to work. They look indifferent to me. Okay, so I think sneak actually did work, although we are feigned, so that could just be the cause behind that one on the indifferent one. But if you actually do sneak, you should be able to stand back up, and they won't automatically aggro you. So I think we are sneaking. I think we are sneaking, guys. All right, let's go back in there and see if we can do this again. And a skeleton. Dang, things are all over the place over here. We're going to get her because she's the one who ruined it all, guys. She's the one who started the downward spiral of me losing that battle right there. So here we go. We're going to kill her real quick. Plus, you know, who doesn't want to kill a barbarian? Look at that. Look at her, guys. She looks like she's from Braveheart. I don't know. It's actually kind of a cool makeup. I like it. I like the barbarians. Look at that right there. It's just kind of unique. You know, you don't really get to fight a lot of the other classes that are in the game too often as an actual enemy. It's just like there's dark elves. You don't really find a lot of dark elves unless they're guards or they're NPCs or something like that. Same thing for like the ogres and the trolls. You know, you're going to be very, very hard pressed to find an evil camp of it. And yet when you come out here, the Dervish cutthroats, they're a combination of like the humans and the barbarians, and oh, it sounds so horrible when you kill them. Oh man. All right, we got some ale. Now ale is really good to drink, and then of course you got some rings. What kind of rings do I have? I absolutely have no rings on. So this is kind of taking me back to the old days where this was the best stuff that I could get at my level for my characters. 1 AC, 2 dexterity. There is also a quest that you can use to turn those in, and I believe it's over in Northern Row or something along those lines. I never actually did the quest, so it's not something I'm terribly familiar with, but it definitely does exist. So we do get some ale, and you'll see as I drink it, not only will my like intelligence and stuff go down, but my strength will go up slightly. Actually, it didn't go up at all. My charisma, my wisdom, and my intelligence went down, and my strength stayed the same. So I just don't have the drinking skill yet, or I don't have enough of the alcohol to make it worthwhile. But that is definitely a thing that you can do to raise it up. You'll see a lot of warriors. Actually, he's blue. So I'm going to hold off on him until my mend comes back. Let's see, what are you? Green. Okay, I can handle green. Now, I do have my intimidation skill, so I definitely do want to try using that a little bit more. Actually, she's not going to attack me. Dang it. Both of them? Both of them. All right, we're going to feign. Come on, feign it. Yes. Oh, man, I love this. I love this thing. I am not used to it in the slightest because, you know, it's been so long since I played a Shadow Knight or any of those characters, and the Shadow Knight is completely different on the way his feigned death works. You gotta stop completely in your tracks before you cast it, and even then, most of the time, it's gonna fail. So it's not one of those things you're gonna get a whole lot of use out of until you get to a higher level and you know how to use it and you get proficient with it. Because before that, it's almost as if it's not even worth using. Like you're gonna notice let's see, intimidation. That could cause some serious issues if she runs, but I need to work on that skill, get it up. Oh my god, seriously? You too? Alright, let's try it, let's run. Oh man, I need to pull back. I need to learn to do that again. Feign it? Oh man, I love it. I love it. Now, I did try to feign last night, but it didn't work, like it failed. And I think the main reason behind it was that I didn't take my auto attack off. And that was something that Chupacabra was letting me know on his, when he came back and we were grouping together a little bit, he was letting me know that with his monk, you gotta take your auto attack off. In fact, he makes a hotkey that will do the auto attack off, it will do feign death, and then it will immediately do sneak so that you can stand back up and do whatever you need to do. So that's kind of a useful tip. We definitely will try doing a hot button like that in the future, but you know, I need to get familiar with doing it myself, so I know how it works in great detail, other than doing a hot button. Because if you do a hot button, you may get very familiar with using that hot button. Oh, I just click it and everything works perfectly, but you don't really understand the timing of it, because it's doing the timing for you. So if you can get familiar doing it manually, then when you do finally use the hot button and something goes wrong and you might have to do a tricky pull where the timing is just a little bit off, you might have to wait a few seconds before you use your sneak, or you might have to wait a little bit longer before you use your feign death after you turn auto attack off. For whatever reason, there are mobs out there that work a little differently than other mobs. So knowing that and having that understanding of timing definitely will help you out when you got to tweak it a little bit. Now, you could always just set your hotkeys up a little differently and say, okay, instead of the delay being 5 seconds, make it 6 seconds or something like that. And you can kind of make it tweaked out a little bit that way. But I kind of prefer to like I said, just have that knowledge just in case, because there's no reason not to, other than you just don't want to do the work behind it. Now, if I pull that guy, it's gonna pull the orc. So I think I might go with this dude in the background. I'm guessing a body pull might work as well, and I do have Mend back up, so let's go ahead and get Mend. Let's see if I can body pull this guy. Nope, not close enough, so we'll try that again. Body pull, come on, baby. Oh, you are just ridiculous. How close do I got to get to you? Right there, I tagged you. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, well, we are gonna walk up to you, smack you in your face, and then we're going to run away, apparently, because we got both of them. Why in the world would he not, I don't know. We're going to feign it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving playing with my monk, guys. This is amazing. All right, one is walking away. Let's go ahead and throw on sneak. We'll get back up, and we'll come over here and attack the Dervish cutthroat. Nice. Okay, because this guy was aggroing on all my pulls, basically, because he was just in the right spot to cause that issue. So I'm going to kill him first, and that means it's going to open up the other two guys for me. That couldn't have been a better pull right there if I tried, and I wasn't really trying, guys. But this is the right time to do it. This is the right time to get familiar with your controls, the right time to get familiar with your camera angles. As you can see, I'm playing in a third-person, over-the-shoulder kind of thing. Oh, we got another ring right there, so that's going to go on right there. I'm going to go ahead and put my drink in there, and then I'm going to drink that so that it doesn't take up a spot or any weight, and then we're going to come back down here. But yeah, getting used to how pulls work, getting used to how mobs react in certain places, this is the prime time to do it, because you're not killing anybody else by trying to figure that stuff out. And from now on, it's just going to get harder. There's going to be more tricky type of pulls in rooms where there's 3 or 4 guys, and the guy you're going after isn't the one next to the door. He's the one in the furthest corner because he's the caster or something along those lines. And something we've kind of touched about on my Shadow Knight videos when I talk about pulling is, if you're pulling casters, they're quite tricky in their own right. And here we go, level 19 yet again. But yeah, casters are quite tricky because you have to make sure that they're not already casting when you cast your feign death. And the reason behind that is if they're already casting and you feign death, well, you'll definitely fool everybody around you if it's, successful, until his spell lands. And then they're like, oh, he's still alive, right? Like they see you twitch or something on the floor and they're like, okay, let me go back and beat on him. So for a monk, it's not such a big deal because they can stand right back up and then they can feign death again. For a Shadow Knight, it's almost certain death, because first of all, spells that you're pulling at your level, or wizards that you're pulling at your level, and their spells hurt quite bad. I'm talking about like a bubble, maybe a bubble and a half, depending on the mob and your level to that mob, off of your life per cast, especially when you're talking about wizards. So it can get really messy really fast. And then it takes, a few seconds for your feign death to come back. This might get a little bad right here, although I can just feign death if I have to. Let's see, pull this guy back. Come on over here, dude. That way we have some room to run. Nice. Alright, we're going to keep doing this and see if we get any experience from this. We might have to actually go over to High Pass, because I kind of wanted to go over there just to mine some of the totems. They're going for about 800 platinum from what I've been told. It's been a while since I sold one or found one, so I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, they're about 800 platinum. They used to be about 500 to 600 platinum, so they've gone up in price because people were raiding a little bit more in Belias. And they had that little clicky charge, but it's only one, and people who raided quite a bit they got disposable income. You know, they get a lot of money very quickly sometimes from high-end items, and you know, you look at 800 platinum and you're like, wow, that's a lot of money at this level. Well, yeah, it definitely is a lot of money at this level. However, at higher levels, it all becomes you know, a different story. You know, you get a fungi tunic that's worth, you know, 30 to you know, 35K just for one item. You sell that, all of a sudden 800 platinum doesn't seem like a whole lot, and you're spending that very quickly. Of course, if you get some of those tinkerer's bag that are like 6 platinum a piece, you know, that money can go by really quickly. So these guys are still blue to me, so I can stay here a little bit longer. I could go over to Oasis and see if I can get into like an orc group or something like that, but I wanted to do a little bit of soloing because it's not something I've shown off too much with this guy. I am, you know, by nature a very group-oriented type of person. I like to be, you know, surrounded by friends. I like to be in a group and working together to, you know, destroy mobs. I mean, if you're going to play an MMO, I've always just felt like it was, you know, you need to be part of the community in some way. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be grouping, but if you want to go off and farm stuff and then go sell it to the other players, then you're still part of the community. Like, you're still participating in the style of an MMO. I see people who play and they don't sell, they don't group, they don't communicate, they don't answer questions, they you know, stay away from people altogether, and I'm like, why aren't you playing a single player game? Like, there's some big single player games out there like Skyrim. Skyrim is a huge RPG game that is all single player. Could easily be turned into an MMO, but they didn't. And you know, that's perfect for you if you like that kind of style. I just, you know, I've always felt that if you're going to be on an MMO, just you know, communicate with people a little bit here and there and have some fun with them. That's the unique thing about MMOs that you won't get from a single player game, is that you actually have real people running by, and sometimes they'll help you out, sometimes they'll troll you, sometimes you know, a mix of the two. You never know, and it's kind of cool. I like it quite a bit. So I don't really do a lot of soloing, that's just my nature, but I kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of that at the very least, because it is a pretty big part of the game for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people like to come out here just for a few hours a day when they have the time, and they know they're not, you know, they don't really have the stuff going on in their life where they can sit down and play for like 4 or 5 hours and make it worth it to get into a group. Because sometimes it can take, you know, 20, 30 minutes to get a group together, and then maybe another 20 or 30 minutes to get the group, you know, in the spot that they want to start hunting at. And then you want to stay there for at least like an hour and a half, 2 hours to make it worth all that time you put into it just to get the group going. And, you know, if you don't have 3, 4 hours to spare, it's not really worth it. If you only have like 20, 30 minutes, you know, you can log on, you can do a little bit of soloing. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up for now and see if I can find that quest later on and show you guys that one. But yeah, if you only have 20 or 30 minutes, you may not want to, you know, spend all that time trying to find a group only for, you know, like 5 minutes of actual playtime. So I'm going to see if I can break these guys here. And breaking by that means I am going to pull them and then feign death and see if one of them will walk back slower. And if he does, I'll be able to stand back up and snag him. So let's see. Gotta get closer. Come on, throw it. Do I have any left? I may not have any left. There we go. I have some left. Okay, so let's take that off. We'll go ahead and feign death. Go ahead and put our sneak back on. And we'll see if any of them get back up to start walking. One of them looks like he was trying to walk back, but he's glitching out a little bit. If he had started walking back, I would be able to get up and pull the other one. There he goes. As soon as he gets a little bit of ways away, I'm going to stand up and see if I can snag this guy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, guys. I might get both of them. Nope, I only got one. Nice. Nice. Now, we are going to pull him back slightly. I want to have some room, because as you have seen, guys, when they get low on life, they do tend to kind of walk away or try to run away from you, and you never quite know which direction they're going to go into unless you're familiar with the area. There are invisible lines on the map, sometimes not so invisible. Sometimes they're going down like a little crack in the ground that you can really see where they're supposed to be going, but yeah, there's invisible lines. The coding in this game is not like you would expect from a brand new MMO, where it's just kind of like, oh, they can walk anywhere on the map. Now this one, they had to design lines that the creatures followed to get to where they were going, and you know, it's actually a good thing that they did that. Anybody who's ever played like Warcraft back in the day, the old RTS game, not the MMO, That one had really, really bad lines. Really bad lines. Yeah, if you told your orc to go from one side of the map to the other side of the map, he would go from one side of the map to the other side of the map and immediately get stuck on a tree and never move again. He would just be sitting there, walking into a tree for the next, million years until you've noticed it and, fixed it, got him off of that tree. And a lot of the time it was basically, leading the creatures by the nose, literally by the nose. Oh, we got 2 there. We're going to have to break that up again. But before I do that, I'm going to come over here and grab these guys just because we already have the camp broken back here and I don't want to let it respawn too much. We're going to get that Dervish cutthroat in the back though, that orc. Yep, we're going to get that. So let's pull them back, click off our auto attack, and we're going to try our feigned death. There we go. Now let's go with sneak and wait for one to, you can see the one in the back is already going to walk back. We're going to go ahead and stand back up, and we're going to snag this guy. This is the guy we kind of really want anyways. We might get that other one, so let me back that up. But yeah, it's a little bit of work, guys. A little bit of work as a monk, but completely and totally different from the other classes that you're going to play. And an actually a fairly enjoyable class, to be honest, guys. It's going to give you a different perspective, even from a Shadow Knight. Now, they're going to be very close. Shadow Knight gets to pull in a lot of places that the monk gets to pull as well. However, the monk is able to pull creatures that the Shadow Knight is usually not able to pull, and vice versa. The Shadow Knight is able to survive hits that the monk would just get wrecked on. So he's going to be able to pull certain mobs, and he's going to be the go-to guy on those. Other ones, on an average daily basis, you're going to be the puller as a monk. If you join a group and you're a monk and there's already a Shadow Knight there, you're going to be the guy they want to take over. The Shadow Knight will usually always just kind of, relinquish his pulling capability to you. However, there are some people out there that just love pulling, and they're going to be like, do you want to pull? Because if not, I'll do it. And if you're too slow, they'll definitely take back over as well, or try to offset it a little bit by pulling at the same time you do, if they're careful enough. You really don't like to have 2 pullers, because you never know, unless you got the timing down, you've already broken the camp quite well, what you're going to get on a pull. You might go into a room and there's only 1 guy there. That's great. It's fantastic. And 2 guys pulling 1 guy at a time, as they plan it, it works really well. However, if you go into a room and you're planning on pulling 1 because the other guy's already pulling 1 and you get 4, nah, that's not a good thing. That's going to be a nasty pull. And, you might be able to feign death and, kind of reset it. But what if you only get 2? And 2 doesn't sound bad. You got 2, the other guy gets 1, everything works out pretty well. Well, what happens if you get 2, the other guy gets 2, and you both pull at the exact same time and get back to the room at the exact same time? You didn't realize that he had pulled 2, he didn't realize you pulled 2, and now you have 4 in a group that might be able to take 3. So, yeah, it can get kind of out of hand with 2 pullers. However, that's really up to the puller's knowledge of what the group can handle. If they think the group can handle a lot of pulls, they will go off and they will pull like crazy everything that they possibly can get their hands on. And it wasn't really too big of a deal back in the day when everybody was playing, because it was one of those things where there was enough mobs to kill if your group was available in certain zones. But then on other zones, the whole zone would be so camped that you were just fighting for any mob that would spawn. So you had like 4 or 5 pullers out there. Literally everybody but the cleric would be out there pulling something and just trying to get their hands on it, because you just wanted a mob. You had gone like 5 minutes without a mob. Everybody's at full power and everybody's killing everything and everything's camped, and maybe another group next to you is getting greedy as well and they're trying to take your kills, and you're out there and forced to make sure that they're not able to get them. So it's one of those things that you got to be on the ball as a puller. You got to know what's going on. You're basically you're the first line of defense. You're the one that they're going to rely on to find out what's coming their way. Is there a group encroaching on their territory? You got to let them know that, because they're not going to know that. They're not out there seeing what's going on. You're the one out there seeing what's going on. So if you see that the group is kind of coming in and maybe heading into the same area as where you're at, then definitely let them know that. There we go. We'll go with sneak. And this is why I keep going back to this angle, because it allows me to turn the camera so I can see what's going on and I can actually stand up. However, this angle is usually not very good inside dungeons. Dungeons are a different beast altogether than outside zones. You're going to figure that out fairly quickly, and both of those guys are going to go back to their spawn point at the exact same time. You guys suck. One of those is a wizard too, so I'm kind of glad to let him do his thing and go back. I'm only at 58, and there is another guy that respawns, so this is a pretty good cap. Not too bad, actually. Let me see, what's my experience like? See how much experience I've gained. About a half a bubble. Not the greatest experience, but it's something you can do by yourself when you happen to get on for a little while. And that's, you know, he's kind of exactly what I'm doing right now. I don't really have a lot of time to play this boring. I just, I don't know, I had the itch to get on and play Everquest for a little while. And I was like, you know what? I'll come over here. I won't get into a group or anything like that, I don't think. But I'll just kill a little bit because, you know, High Pass is where I really wanted to go. But it's camped right now. And it's just crazy because, you know, I can't get through that zone. The guards will kill me. And I'm not high enough level to... I guess I could try to feign through the zone. I just don't know what level those guards are at. So they could kill me in like one hit for all I know. I don't think they are because they get wrecked by the orcs, so they're probably pretty low. Let's see, small box, rusty rapier. I don't like that. We're going to go and get rid of our copper. You got to look at your AC up here. I got 377 at the moment, and I'm 33 out of 77 on my weight. So if I get rid of this right here, the 377 will go up to 382, which is a nice little chunk of AC back. If I get rid of my silver, I will go ahead and get a little bit more, 382 to 391. So it definitely does make a big difference the more overweight you are. How much do these weigh anyways? These weigh, oh yeah, they barely weigh anything. The backpack, I think, is the thing that's weighing the most. If I took that off, I'm at 391. I can put that on the ground. Actually, I can't make a Dervish cutthroat loot it. 391. So I got another 9 points of AC out of that because I got rid of that. I don't really need this either, so I'm gonna go ahead and destroy the dead bone barley. I don't know what that's for. I picked it up from somewhere. And I do have a high quality bear skin. I'm gonna hang on to that. It's 4 pounds, but I'm gonna hang on to that because it's actually a really nice thing. I can get a weight reduction backpack made from it. I thought they were made from the lion pelts, but I was mistaken on that one. It's actually the bear pelt. So I'm gonna hold on to that. Maybe I can get one made from Chupa later on today, or I can always do it on my cleric. He actually has the skill level to do that. I just I don't log on to him very often to do the skills. You know, that's something I do kind of like when I'm doing today, where I'm just kind of, I don't have a lot of time on. I'll spend, you know, 30-40 minutes messing around with stuff. So now you may be thinking, why am I getting rid of silver? Well, there's nowhere nearby I can really sell to. This is a kind of a dangerous place for a lizard until you build up some faction. Now, you can go over to the Dark Elf City, and if you get somebody to invis you into the city, you can go all the way over to the library, and if you get that to the library and you have like 2 backpacks full of wine, I think it's, I don't remember what kind of wine, I think it's just wine. If you have like 2 backpacks full of wine, you can turn it into a quest over there, and you get enough faction with about 2 backpacks full to get enough faction that they don't hate you anymore, Dark Elf City, and you'll be able to bank there and use the vendors and things of that sort. So it's kind of an easy, inexpensive way to have a city over here that you can use. On the other hand, you could always just kill the Dark Elf guards. I mean, that's going to be something that is kind of interesting to do. You can always go over to High Pass and kill those guards over there. You can be hated by as many people as you want because there's nobody in this game that you really absolutely have to have except for your main city, as far as I'm aware of. You know, you're a lizard monk. You're already pretty much hated by everybody. And I think, you know, if you are looking for port to South Row for CR, okay, so the dude just died. And I might be next, guys. I might be next. So if we don't start wrecking this guy's face here in a minute, I might just have to feign death here. Come on, kill him. Yep, we're gonna have to feign it. Let's run. Feign. There we go. Ugh, so close. 5%. What's my life at, by the way? Let me see. My life got down to 30 hit points, which is not too great, guys. Not too great. But, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to med up. I might do another episode today. I don't know. We might go over to Oasis or even go check out High Pass and see how that's going. But, again, I want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy the videos, definitely leave those comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys think of my monk. I love playing this guy. He's going to take a little while to perfect, a little while to get used to, but in the end, I think it's going to be definitely worth it. And he has some pretty good equipment on right now. You know, his weapons are fantastic, I think, for his level. In fact, I'll show you guys that before we head out here. Now, these were gifts from, you know, just passing strangers who were running by and just happened to give it to us. I think at like level 1 or level 2. So, you know, pretty much right off the bat, people were just running by over there at the newbie ramp in the Field of Bones and just giving out stuff. And these were two things that I had got, you know, the Yakisha War Club, which is 9 damage, 24 delay, and then the effect, I don't think procs into like 35 or something like that, so it's not going to be too big of a deal for me yet. And then the Master Wu Trance Stick, which is really nice, is 7 damage, 18 delay, effect Smite. I don't think that procs until later levels as well, so again, not really a big effect there. We do, or I do, have a two-handed, you know, Wu Stick, which is actually not too bad. But I don't really use it all too often because I have two really good one-handers. So that's definitely an option for you if you want to use it. But, you know, that is why we're able to do as much damage as we do. As far as the rest of our gear, it's just kind of Wu, you know, Cured Silk and some of the Wu fighting stuff. Not the greatest stuff in the world. The Panther skin is a really nice set to get, but I don't have the cash to get that. That's, you know, that's kind of high out there. But as always, guys, I'm AC Gamer, and I will definitely catch you all next time. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that you know, series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.